What's up guys, Beatbox Blade Slashing in here with my microphone, and I'm bringing you a video about what would happen if Sasuke was the Jinchuriki instead of Naruto. With that being said, let's get started. Ski Bam! 1. The Uchiha would attempt to take the leaf, with them having the Nine Tails at their power, at right in their hands, because Sasuke was the Jinchuriki. And I'm sure when they needed to seal it, they would have, since the seal came from the Uchiha anyway, they would have somebody seal it inside of Sasuke. And they would attempt to take the leaf, but they would fail. And let's hear why. Well, not really why, more or less, just the next point. Sasuke and Itachi would stay safe, but the rest of the Uchiha would die, because Sasuke and Itachi were the youngest Uchiha members as far as I'm aware, and thus the leaf would want to, keep some Uchiha to know that, like, they can still be pure and all that, but the rest of the Uchiha would die because they had, like, those intentions, those murderous intentions, thus they would be all killed. Now, Sasuke would train under Itachi's, because Itachi was a really smart kid. He goes to the school or the academy or whatever, and he was an Anbu. Was or is an Anbu. Thus, Sasuke would learn from him. Let's hear why. In a couple of points. Alright, Naruto would train under the 4th, Kushina, and Jiraiya, because the 4th and Kushina would still be alive, and they were excellent ninja, as well as Jiraiya being the 4th's teacher. He would have to learn some things from him, because they'd want, for the 4th and Kushina would want their son to be a super strong ninja, because that's what Naruto would want to do. This is kind of a little off point, but Sasuke would be like Misao from Kaze no Stigma. For those of you who don't know what that is, let me explain. Kaze no Stigma is an anime where people can manipulate all the different elements, wind, fire, all that jive. And Misao, as I call her, Misao Soup, is a character in there who her entire family didn't really love her. Most of them were dead anyways, but the only person she loved was her brother. And her brother, loved her back, but then her brother died and she became all cold and all that. And Sasuke would be like the same thing, except for Itachi wouldn't die. Now, Sasuke wouldn't enroll in the academy. It's because with him being a Jinchuriki, as well as an Uchiha, having the Sharingan, as well as being a Jinchuriki, they would be afraid with the wrong influence he would grow up and be like Madara Uchiha. Thus, they would keep him secluded. They didn't keep Naruto secluded because he wasn't in Uchiha, and he didn't have the Namakazes and the and the Uzumakis didn't really have any special abilities like the Sharingan. They didn't have any Kekkei Genkai, except the Uzumakis were like good at sealing. That was about it. I don't think that's a Kekkei Genkai. Probably not. No. Naruto would learn all the 4th jutsu. It's because the 4th is his dad. Of course, he would learn everything from his father. Now, Team 7 would exist of Naruto, Sakura, and Shikamaru. Now, let me explain. The reason the original Team 7 was formed is because Naruto had the lowest test grades, while Sasuke had the highest. Now, I'm saying it would exist of Naruto, Sakura, and Shikamaru is because I believe Naruto would have the highest scores with him, actually having friends now and having parents. He'd be a smart kid. He's already a smart kid, but he was misguided when he was a kid. And during the fight between Shikamaru and Temari, when Asuma and Kurenai were talking, Kurenai said, when I was there when we grouped the Geni, Shikamaru's scores were no better than Naruto's. Thus, with Shikamaru having the lowest score and Naruto having the highest, it would consist of those 3. Bam. Now, Orochimaru wouldn't invade the Leaf, because with the third being there, Jiraiya being there, and the fourth being there, as well as, you know, every other ninja that's there, Orochimaru wouldn't dream of it. It's because it's too overwhelming. Sure, he's strong by himself, but the fourth, I'm pretty sure the fourth is stronger than the third. Plus, he's smarter. So Orochimaru would just get obliterated unless he had some backup. Now, Tsunade wouldn't become Hokages because they would have the third, and after that would be the fourth. So, yeah. Poor Tsunade. Sasuke would learn to control part of the Nine-Tails' power because of Jiraiya. Jiraiya was already smart in this kind of deal, and thus they would have Sasuke and Jiraiya, like, paired up so he can teach Sasuke some things. Some of the things he taught Naruto, he would teach to Sasuke. Alright, that's Naruto Shippuden. That's Naruto. Let's go on to Naruto Shippuden. Number 1, in Naruto Shippuden would be Naruto, Kakashi, Shikamaru, and the fourth would go after Gaara. It's because it's Naruto, super strong. Well, it's because he's a part of Team 7. Kakashi would go. It's because he's the leader of Team 7. Sakura would be useless because she didn't learn anything from Tsunade, thus she wouldn't go. Shikamaru would go because he's super smart and a strategist. And the fourth would go is because he's like either the second strongest or the strongest ninja in the village. So yeah. Now, this is what I came up with personally, but you can believe whatever you want, is that Gaara would stay dead. I say that because the only reason Gaara didn't stay dead is because Naruto went on his little jinchuriki rant. He was like, "Oh, why do you guys get to name us and all of that? We get to be our own people and whatever." But now, because Naruto isn't a jinchuriki, he wouldn't go on that rant, and thus Lady Chiyo wouldn't give up her life to save Gaara, is because Lady Chiyo was like a secluded person with her brother. She was like, "Oh, we can just let this generation handle it. They're fine." So yeah, she wouldn't give her life, and Gaara would stay dead. Bam. Sai would stay in Anbu. It's because he wouldn't get the chance to be a part of Team 7 because Naruto, Sakura, or Shikamaru wouldn't leave the Leaf Village to become stronger because they're not stupid. Even though Sasuke ends up being one of the strongest people, whatever. Now, Danzo and Orochimaru would team up and attack the Leaf. This is what I meant earlier about Orochimaru getting some backup. It's because their original plan was to attack the Leaf and all that, and thus they would. Because Orochimaru has help from Danzo, so he can bring in help from the outside and the inside. And during this, Sasuke would slip away and join the Akatsuki. I know you're like, what? He's a Jinchuriki. Why would he go join the Akatsuki? Because he was secluded for most of his life. Thus, he didn't know that the Akatsuki are taking the tailed beasts out of people, because he wouldn't have heard that. He would leave in anger because he hates the Leaf Village for confining him. And he would go join the Akatsuki thinking, "Oh, they're a friendly group." Now, Danzo, Orochimaru, and the third would die. It's because Danzo and Orochimaru are traitors. And thus, they would have to die. Thus, because they were the leaders of this assault, really. And the third would die is because he would be the one posing the most threat. It's because he knows the Reaper Death Seal, plus he's the oldest, so he knows a lot, plus his ninjutsu is amazing. Orochimaru knows because he would have trained under him. And now, with the third dead, the fourth would take over the Leaf Village, because he was the next in line to be Hokage, because he was already called the fourth. And now, Naruto would develop the Rasen Shuriken under the fourth. It's because the fourth invented the Rasengan, but he could never get it right. So he would want his son to learn how to do it, to see if, oh, you can carry on my legacy or whatever. Now, everything that happened with Hidan and Kakuzu would have still happened, because all those same people were there, and Sai and Sakura didn't do crap anyways, so they don't really matter. And now Deidara wouldn't have died is because Sasuke and Deidara were both in the Akatsuki, and Sasuke wouldn't kill him. He might want to, but he wouldn't. And Jiraiya would still die to pain is because it would be too dangerous for anyone else to go with, and the fourth couldn't come with him because he would have to stay at the Leaf, being the Hokage, and he obviously can't leave. Alright, now Naruto would learn Sage Mode. It's because he would need to kill Pain. He partially defeated Pain purely by Sage Mode. Thus, he wouldn't have needed the Nine Tails' powers, because he already had him on the ropes with Sage Mode. And now, with him being able to have the one girl frog, I can't remember her name, and Lord Fukasaku on his shoulders collecting Sage Energy, he would destroy them. And having the fourth jutsu, all that teleportation crap, amazing. Yeah. Now, Sasuke and Itachi would fight, and Itachi would win and get the Eternal Mangekyo. I say that it's because Itachi wouldn't have left the Leaf Village, only Sasuke would have. And Itachi would stay in the Leaf and develop the Will of Fire. The same thing that Hashirama had when he created the village. He said, and I quote, "Even if you are my friend, my brother, or my own son, I will destroy you if you attack my village." End quote. He said that to Madara, and thus Itachi would have that, and he would destroy Sasuke because he came against the Leaf Village. Alright? The 5 Kage Summit would still happen, and Obito wouldn't declare war until 3 years later. Or he would still declare war, but he wouldn't start it until 3 years later. Because, remember, Sasuke would be dead because Itachi killed him. Because Will of Fire and all that. And it takes 3 years for the chakra to form again and become a tailed beast. And thus Obito, needing the Nine Tails as power, would wait until they had it. And once the war was declared, the reanimation would happen. It's because Kabuto is still out there because he was training under Orochimaru, and Orochimaru kind of died, and thus he would still be sneaking around because he's Kabuto. Now, the last point, the Shinobi forces would win the war because of the 3-year gap. They would see the war coming, and thus they would train for 3 years. Remember how strong the Z fighters were when they trained for those 3 years to fight the androids? Nah, they done. They destroyed them like that. Even though they let them get away and activate Android 18 and 17 or whatever. But the Shinobi forces would be super strong within that 3 years. And I believe they would win the war against all the reanimated people, and even Madara, I would say. It's because all the 5 Kage would train as well. I'd say they'd probably do it like in secret. It's because they'd have to be Hokage, and they would like step out, I suppose, and train. It's because they need to be able to defeat this enemy. Thus, that is my theory. You know, it's just been me, Beatbox Blade, thinking out the box. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment, subscribe. You know how it be. I'll see you guys in the next one. I love ya. Peace.